But the misfit game I'm talking about today is Miami versus UVA. I think this game is going to be one of those interesting games. It could be one that the sicko committees pay attention to. That's how bad this one could be as well. But two teams, 3-4, two teams that are struggling, two teams that we did not think would struggle this bad this year. We look at brand new coach for UVA who's had offensive woes. A offensive coordinator from Clemson coming in the coach UVA who had a great offense last year under Armstrong and company, and then they have some issues on the offensive side. And then when you look at Cristobal in Miami, we knew there was going to be some growing pains. I just didn't know it was going to be this bad. There's obviously a quarterback controversy in Miami as well. There is a lot of things to unpack with this football game. I'm not going to dig into all of them because we don't have an entire hour to talk about it, because I really do think we could discuss this entire game for an hour. I just don't know if we want to. ESPN 3:12:30 for this game. Miami's a 3-point favorite on the road against UVA. I want to see what happens with Van Dyke for the rest of the year. That's a storyline that I want to pay attention to, because it's just he's been rocky. He's been shaky. He's been rocky. I wonder if how long Cristobal keeps him in and continues it off. He's had some really good games. He's had some games where we've really thrown question marks. But overall, Miami has found a way to still almost get 450 yards of offensive production. But when you look at the record, they're 3-4. I think this is one of those games for each of these teams today. The winner will find themselves in a bowl game. The loser probably doesn't find themselves. 4-4 looks a lot better than 3-5 when we're heading into week 10 of the season. So I'm leaning towards Miami to figure it out and take care of it. Really makes you wonder, though. First-year coaches. This is the battle of first-year coaches. When you have a big expectation in the ACC and you sit at 3-5 after heading into week 10 in your first year, does the seat get warm that fast? I don't know I don't know if that's really the case, but I'm sure that there's a few fans that are already asking for them to leave and get out the door.
Well, you're always going to have that. I would think that the seat would be warmer at Charlottesville than it would be for Cristobal in Miami. That's not to say that either coach should be in danger. Okay,
Right.
they are coming in and they are putting their stamps and they're establishing the boundaries and the guidelines for what they see for both of these programs going forward. I don't know that Virginia gets a bowl even if they beat Miami. I want to say they're too boring, but they're not an exciting brand of football, really, especially because they're struggling on the offensive side. But I think for Virginia fans, I think it does give you that booster going into, I'm not talking about money booster, but that confidence booster going in to next season and going into spring practices. Hey, I can see where that's going. Down deep, I think Cristobal, I mean, you always want to win every week, but I think down deep, Cristobal is okay with the fact that Miami did not match early all of the wild expectations, I think, and not just in their fan base, but I think people and writers that cover the ACC, I think they really put the Hurricanes on a pedestal
Mm-hmm.
that they maybe really hadn't earned yet. Certainly, Cristobal, he just signed another big 5-star recruit yesterday. I think they announced it. Miami is going to be a problem in the ACC for a lot of years to come. I think Clemson knows down deep that this might be their last great shot at being,
Really?
the big team on campus. That they're going to now start having to deal with a Miami program that's on the rise and that has the talent in place. They're young. They've had some big moments this year already. So I really think, it's the decline of the Clemson Empire and the rise of the Hurricanes again. As early as next year, in all honesty, I think it's probably more 2024. But Miami is going to be the new dominating force in the ACC. And I think for them to make a bowl and then have a great performance in a bowl game, that's going to do so much for this program and have so many more eyes stay focused. Because I think some people are kind of like, well, yeah, Miami, there was the hype, and is Cristobal all this? You're already starting to hear those stories, as you go and your research or you're looking to see, who you want to bet on any given week. You're already hearing those narratives. But I think Miami, this is a chance for Miami to solidify that bowl bid, and I think Miami is a team you can watch this game and see why they're going to be so good in the years to come.
I didn't expect that to take the turn where you said the Clemson dynasty is about to end. I'm interested in that. We're gonna have to dig more into that here in the future because I'm actually really interested to hear your thoughts on that.